and calculate the BMI. So the BMI will be calculated. So the whole screen designing and the interaction of the buttons and all that we are going to learn in this session. Okay. So first of all, you need to have an Android Studio installed in your computer. Okay, we are not going to go into the depth of that. Okay, because that will require another too much time to install and run the Android Studio. So let's say when you are in the Android Studio, okay, so you can select a start a new Android Studio project. So this Android Studio project will ask you about how you are going to start a project, that what kind of basic things you will need inside the project. So you will need a basic activity or empty activity or bottom navigation, any kind of a full screens, maps activity, login. So, but right now we need a empty activity for this project. So select an empty activity, go to the next. Over here we will give the name of the project. So our project name will be BMI calculator, and that BMI calculator, the package name will be, let's say, com.kuntekonline.bmi calculator. This package name will be unique for the application inside the device. Okay, and the project will be stored over this location, and the language of the project will be Java. We are requiring the minimum SDK. That means this project, this app will run on minimum Android 4.0 to the maximum whatever the Android available in the market right now, that Android 8.0 or 9.0 whatever. And then we click the finish. Okay, so this will load the whole project, the scratch, the project from the scratch. Okay, so at the beginning you will see some files. The files names are, first of all, main.activity, and another file name is activity underscore main.xml. This is the layout thing. And this .java main activity .java is the Java file where we are going to write our logics and interaction of the screen. And in the main.xml we are going to uh, design our layout. Okay, so let me just show you the structure of this app. The structure is like, the app will have one manifest file. The manifest file is like what? This is the most important file in the Android app that will be identified by the device. So this file will have some kind of a basic information, that what is the application name, what is the application icon, what is the starting activity. Now what is an activity? Activity is a screen. Whatever the screen we are seeing on the phone is an activity. Okay, so that activity, what, there are multiple activities in the apps. Okay, as we can see in the app, let's say some apps can have one activity, or some apps can have 10 to 15 activities. Okay, so which activity will be called first when we start the app, that will be decided by this file. And we have right now given that dot main activity is the launcher, and this is the main activity and the launcher activity. Okay, so now the main activity, now this, and the Java file is there. In the package there is a Java file, as I told you, this main activity, and there is a folder named resource. This is also a very important folder. Why? Because the resource folder are containing all the static things. Static thing means all the XML files, Java .xml files, layouts, and images. Okay, now what is an XML file? XML files are kind of a file that store the raw data that can be read by other files that can have the information. Let's say the colors.xml have the data of color. Okay, so this is the color is an attribute item, and the attributes and the values. Okay, so I'm not going into the deep into the XML and all that, but we can design the layout into our XML, then connect this XML to our the activity, and then when we run, we can see our screen. So let's say right now the main activity is binded to our layout activity underscore main. How this is going to be done, that I will explain. First, let's run this project. When we run, for running, there is a button over here where you can run, or you can go to the tools, run, and the run app. Okay, so when we run the app will process some of the parts at the beginning. It will take a particular time to load each and every files and build the project, and you can see that the building is 24 seconds. Okay, and inside this emulator you can see the app will be installed and run. So installing the app will take a particular time in the beginning. Now, how I get this emulator? Okay, first of all, let's see this. See, the BMI calculator is run, and the hello world, we can see the hello world. What is this layout? This layout is displayed over here. This is the layout that it is we are seeing here. Okay, now how we are going to get this emulator? For getting the emulator, there is a screen over here, this icon. In this icon, we can have the virtual devices, or we can create a new virtual devices. I have already created one virtual device, and it's just a simple process. Create a virtual device, click next, and you will have a virtual device, and you can just start. When you start the virtual device, you can launch the emulator, and emulator launching will take at least 10 to 15 minutes according to the system, and it will be like this. Okay, so this is a particular device where all the apps are stored and all the apps are here. Okay, now let's go to this UI part. So first of all, we are going to design a UI that I showed you in the beginning of the lecture. So here in the previous Android Studio, we had this text and design buttons over here to switch between this layout and the XML part. But here in this 3.6 Android Studio 3.6, we have some such kind of buttons where we can split the UI and XML part, or we can have only XML part. So let's say I'll do like this. So whenever I change something, I can see here, and I don't need to run each and every time to save the time. Okay, so first of all, let's say an XML. In XML, we have to just remember that all the tags and attributes and the values. Okay, so tags, attributes, and values. So here the layouts are there. There are two kinds of layouts mainly: linear layouts and relative layouts. Today I am going to cover only linear layout and make this app. So now the linear layout, let's say in this file, I don't want a constraint layout. Okay, so I will delete this. Okay, and I'll simply write linear, and as I start writing the linear, the Android Studio give you the hint, and you can select the hint or press and enter. So your linear layout is this. Okay, so this linear layout means all the child components will be linearly aligned. Now the linear layout has two orientation. So let's say if I want to include an attribute, I will include inside this. The attribute name will be orientation. See, the, from the hint, I select the orientation, and from there I can select the vertical or horizontal. Let's say I select a vertical. Okay. So all the components will be stacked vertically. If I select horizontal, then all the components will be stacked horizontal. So let me give you one example. I'll remove this text. We can do one thing as well. We can drag and drop the component as well. But dragging and dropping component is easy, but sometimes it's not recommended because you will not get particular uh, design. When you have two or three components, you can drag and drop. But when you want to design a particular UI, then the practice is what? Start writing the code and parallelly see how it looks. So let's say our orientation is vertical. Okay. So inside this, I'll say text view, width and height. So width and height is wrap content or match parent. Wrap content is what? It will wrap around whatever the content is there. So let's say right now I can not see anything, but as I give the text attribute, the value hello world, so it will be like this. The width will be like this. But if I say match parent, the width is like this, but the value is only. Okay. So we need only wrap content. Now if I copy same text view and paste it down, so these two text views will be there. That is what the because they are into vertically. But if I change from vertical to horizontal, text will change. Okay. So right now we don't need require another text, and we need vertical layout. Okay. Now styling of the text or styling of the page. Let's say if we want the background color of the whole page, I will assign it to the root page, root layout. What is the root layout? It's a linear layout. So inside the linear layout, I will assign background. Okay. And I can choose the color. I can choose the color from the, let's say, from the resources values colors.xml. So these three colors are given when project is built. So let's say I will put another color name. Let's say background color. Okay. And I have to give the value over here. So let's say I'm giving the value as white. Double F, double F, double F. Okay. But I need something different color. So from here, see the color is displayed. Click that, you will see such kind of panel. Inside this panel, you can have the custom color. So let's say I will choose this color, and from the material I can choose the shades as well. Let's say 500 shade means lighter shade, 100 is very lighter shade, and 900 is a very darker shade. Okay. So let's say we don't need a dark shade, we can say that I need a 400 shade, this kind of shade. Okay. Now I want to use this background color inside my layout. How will I use that? We can always do like this as well. We can say here the code, or if we want to use a color, so at the rate color slash the background color. Let's say background. So background color is this. Same way we can have, because why we are doing this, because we can select the background color one time. We assign the background color one time and select it multiple times wherever we want inside the multiple screens. Okay. So Let's say this is the background color. We want our text. Now I'm designing the text. We want our text color. So text color, I want a white color. So let me assign a white color here. Color name white, and give the value here at the rate white color. So the text is white color. Now text style, I want a bold, and text size. These are all attributes. Let's say 25 SP. Now SP is what? Scaled pixel. When we give text size, we will use the SP, and whenever we want to give a margin or something, let's say a margin 25 dp, so that is a margin oversight, or we can have the margin particular margin top, say 20 dp, so top 20 dp. We can have the margin only, let's say left 30 dp, it will be left 30. Okay, these are the margin. And I want my hello world text as a center. So let's say the gravity of this layout, the, the whole the whole layout, I want here inside the center. So layout gravity is the attribute, and the value will be center. So this is the center. Let me give a top margin of 20 degrees, so it will look a bit. And instead of hello world, let me give our app name BMI calculator. Okay, BMI calculator. Now inside the BMI calculator, what is the BMI calculator? BMI calculator will require weight and height, and there is a formula that I'm going to explain. What is the formula? It's a simple formula, and then we will have a button, and then we'll say that okay, your BMI is particular this value. Okay, so what I need to have an input from the user of height and weight, two inputs. So for inputs, let's say uh, first of all, I will need an edit text. What is an edit text? Edit text is a text box. So edit text is a text box. So text box, I will not need a wrap content. I will need a match parent. Let's say. So see, and height will be a wrap content. Okay, so let it be like this. Now inside the edit text is going to be written by us, not by uh, not default. So here we need a hint. Hint is like placeholder. What is a hint? So enter. Okay. And what I will do, I will just make this thing look good. How? Background color white. Height, I will give a box height, a nice one, let's say a 60 dp. Then I'll give a particular bit of margin of 20 dp. Okay. So now it's looking nicer. Enter height. See, the enter height is very close to this. So for that, what we can do, there is a called padding. Padding is kind of a margin, but inside the edges. So padding left and dp. Now this enter height is very well aligned. Okay. Similarly, what I want, the same edit text, copy and paste, enter weight. Okay, so enter height. Let's say enter height in meter, weight in. Okay. put a very simple app. After that, I will need required a button. So let's say we required a button. So there is an attribute name button. That button will be max parent height. Let's say I want an 80 dp height. Okay, so see, this is a small button, the default Android button. As you can see, text will be calculate. Okay, now I want a button color, background button color. Let's say color button background color. Let's define a nice color. What kind of colors we want? Let's say a particular kind of maroon color. Okay, randomly any. So background at the rate btn background color. So this will be the background. I'll give a particular margin of 20 degrees. It will look bit. And the text, let's say a text color will be white. Text size will be 25 sp, a bigger size. And let's say a text style will be bold. Okay. So one, calculate. After calculate, I need a result text. Let's say a text view of wrap content and wrap content. And let's say text. So result. Here we will display the result, and text style will be bold. Text size will be 30 sp, bigger size. Color will be white, and layout gravity will be center. So here we will display the result. Okay. So now what? How many things are there? One. How many components are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 components. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, how many components are inside we are going to use as an active? So we need this component to get an height data. We need this component to get the weight data. We need this component to click the button. And we need this component for displaying the result. We don't need this component inside the Java. It's just a label. So wherever we need some components, that component needs an ID. What kind of an ID? ID is an attribute where we have to give like this, let @+ ID. Let's say this ID name is edit height. Okay. Same way here I'm going to give an ID name edit weight. Okay. In button I give the ID btn calculate, and this ID will be, let's say, text result. Okay, so I have this all ID, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 IDs will be there. These 4 things we need to require inside the main activity. Okay. Now we are done with our designing. So let's run this and see how our design looks inside this. Okay, so let it be done, and I'm going to do the Java part. So inside the Java, there is a class called main activity, which is extending the app compat activity. That means this is called an activity. And as it extends, it will require the onCreate method. And inside the onCreate method, we have set the content via r.layout.activity_main. So we are telling that this class will have this main activity and this layout, and that layout will be displayed over here. So what we are doing that we are placing the layout to the Java file. So this is how the BMI calculator looks. Okay. So as I have created this four components ID, let me quickly create the four components ID here. Edit text, edit height. Okay. As I say edit text, so it will be imported. So edit text, edit weight, and there will be one button btn calculate. Okay. And there will be one text view, so text result. Now these are all objects, and this object we need to connect to this particular component. Okay, so let's say how we are going to connect. So inside the on create, let's say edit height is equal to find view by id. There is a method called find view by id, and inside that r dot id dot whatever the name of that component. So edit height, I have given the same component name for there is no confusion, but we can have the different name of the object and different name of the component ID. Okay, so let's say I just copy and paste. Instead of edit height, edit weight. Instead of edit height, edit weight. Another copy paste. I want the button calculate. What is it doing? It is connecting the component to the object. Okay, and the last one is text result. Okay, so right now inside this, when we click on the calculate, there is nothing is happening. When we do, how we can write over here, we can write over here. And one more thing, inside the edit text, we can write the A to Z as well, alphabets as well. But if you want to restrict that, there is one attribute. So type. Input type, what we want as a number. The same way inside this, let's say we want a number. So when we want a number, we will see the number pad, not this kind of key. So let's say btn calculate. btn calculate button, we need to have listen the required particular thing. Let's say btn calculate dot, because it's an object now. So dot, there is one method name set on click listener. See, set on click listener, and this set on click listener needs on click listener interface. So for an interface, I will say new on click listener and select this listener and make an enter. So when I press an enter, the whole things happen. What happened? It created the on click listener and gave us the implemented method on click. So whatever we are going to write over here or do inside this on click, that will happen on the button click. Okay, so let me show you one thing here. Let's say there is a toast. A toast is what? Let's say toast is a class, and create a toast. Okay, we have to give main activity dot this, and there is a, let's say, button is clicked. Okay, I'll quickly show you how this thing is work. Toast is just a pop-up message, okay, that we don't require anymore. I'll just show you one thing. So meanwhile it's running, let's say we want an height and weight, and let's think about the logic of our app. The logic of our app is we need height, weight, and we need to calculate the BMI index. Okay. Okay. So let's say this calculate is there. So button is clicked. See, the pop-up is here. The button is clicked. Okay. So now our button is perfectly running. So let me give you one thing. Let's say we will require a double height, double weight, and a double, let's say, BMI. These three things will be here. And inside this class, I will have a private method to calculate the BMI. Let's say we have a method and calculate of BMI. Okay. So inside here, if we want to calculate the BMI is equal to, there is one formula, weight by height, height square. So height square, how we are going to do the height square? Height raised to 2. That is, we have a math dot power. Math dot power of, we have to give, let's say, height and the power of 2, like this. But before giving the height, so this is what weight in kilograms, but height in meters. And to convert the height into meters, let's convert this height into meter by doing 100, dividing by 100. So height, because we are giving the height inside the centimeters, that we have to divide it by 100, and then power of 2. So this is our BMI. Okay. So let's first get back to our calculate. We don't need to require this toast. And to get the calculator, we need a value from this height. See, now number pad is there. So we can have, let's say, 150 150, and this one is like 2, let's say 50. Okay, so 150 and 50, and we can calculate and then fix center. Now we need to get the value from this edit text. How we are going to do that? Let's say string w is weight, let's say. So edit weight dot get text dot toString. Okay. Why two strings? Because these are the inside the strings. Same way, string dot h is equal to edit height dot get text dot toString. Right. So now we are having the value of this inside the string, and we need to give the value as what? The double. So convert this height is equal to h double dot parse double h. This will parse into the double. Same way, weight is equal to double dot parse double. Okay. And after this, I will do what? Calculate the BMI. So let's say calculate the BMI. Call the calculate BMI. When we are calling the calculate BMI, what I want my text result to be updated. So let's say after the calling the BMI, text result dot set text dot set and dot get. Dot get means we are getting the value from whatever the return and setting the value of text to the particular text view dynamically. So set text here, let's say result BMI is equal to, and concatenate the BMI. Okay. As inside the calculate BMI, the height and weight will be calculated and BMI will be set, so that BMI will be here. Okay. So let's run this. Okay. And install successfully finished, and application is running. Okay. Okay. So let's say height, I will enter 150. I'm entering from my keyboard. You can enter from the keyboard or you can do from here as well. And let's say 50. Okay. And calculate. So see, result BMI is equal to 22.22222. Okay. So it is looking very odd, but we need what we need. We need one decimal or two decimal things. Okay. So let's say before displaying string result BMI is equal to, I will convert this BMI into string and format to a particular one decimal. How we are going to do that? String dot format. There is one string dot format method is there. Inside that method, two things are required. Let's say two parameters. So first parameter is what? Let's say percentage. In C we have such kind of things. Percentage dot one F. One F means one decimal point. And BMI we are going to give the value. And instead of pasting this result BMI, um, normal BMI, we are just post the result BMI. Okay. And now when we run, we will particularly get the 22.2 or 25.1, whatever it is, the point one decimal, only one decimal. Okay. Because we don't require such long decimals inside that. Okay. So I quickly run this 150, 50, calculate. When I calculate, it is 22.2. Let's say 175, and one's weight is like 72. Okay, let's say calculate. So BMI will be, so BMI index is what? Body mass index calculator. Okay, here we have created the particular BMI. Now UI is done, logic is done, but some parts is remaining. That what the features, what kind of features? Let's say if I am not putting anything over here, and I'm not putting anything over there, all right, and I calculate, what will happen? Nothing is happening. The system crashed. Why system crashed? Because string is not getting anything, null, and null cannot be parsed into double. And when we have the nothing into double, then we cannot have this. Okay, it's like zero. We cannot divide by zero. So many errors are coming. So for that, let's say give one kind of you know um, the validations. So how validations will be tried? Let's say I will create one private boolean check validation. I will pass a string as an str. If I'm creating the check validation as a general. So str dot if str is not equal to null, okay, or str dot equals, let's say if str equals to null or str equals this, then return false, else return true. Okay. That means and str we will do one thing as well. Str dot trim. Trim means it will trim the whole. Trim function is what chop down the white spaces from uh, beginning and from the ending. Okay. So this is the check validation. So before, let's say after this, if w, if check validation w, for w we are checking the validation. So if check validation w is false, so we need to check not. If w is not check validation, then let's say we are creating a toast. Inside the toast, I'll just put one message, please enter wait. Okay. Same way, copy and paste, check validation for h, and please enter what, let's say height. After this, both of things, we don't want to go ahead. That means let's return from here. Let's return from here. Okay. And let's run this. What will happen whenever any of the edit box is an empty, it will give us the false. As it gives a false, this if condition is will be true and we'll get the display message. Okay, so this is how we have done the validation part. And as this basic application is there, so in the basic application, so many things we can include as well. We can include the know let's say instead of this edit box, we can include the seek bar where we can have the things. We can have the okay maximum and minimum weight, maximum and minimum height. We can not give the weight 0. We cannot give the height 0 or into minus. We cannot give the height into minus. That kind of validations you can do when we have, let's say here we can say that if height or weight is less than 0, please enter feasible height or please enter something like that. So we can, so let's say calculate. So in calculate, see, please enter weight. Okay, so let's enter a weight and then calculate. See, enter what, enter weight. So it's not crashing anymore. Okay, so 50, calculate. So we are getting the value. But if we give 0 here, then it will crash. So let's do the 0 here. Crash. Or it will give signal. Okay. So we don't want that as well. So after this height and weight captured, we can say that if height is less than or equal to 0, then do something, or if or condition, here we can say the or. I'm right now doing very basic logics. I'm not uh, displaying you any hard logics or anything. Okay, there are other ways to do as well. Like here, this one we can have in one line as well as a ternary operator or something like that. You know? So if the height or weight anything is less than 0 or equal to 0, we will not accept that, and we will say as a here please enter proper value and return from that. Okay, so we need a proper value for that. Okay. So let's run this. Now I'm going to show you in the last 5-10 minutes that this application is ready actually. Okay, so application is ready. After the application is ready, we want to optimize some kind of things. So for optimization, let's say inside the activity main, let's say my both edit text is edit text. See, having the same thing, what background, layout margin, padding left, and input number, and here as well. So as a programming, we are saying that don't repeat yourself. We have to have a dry code. Dry code means don't repeat yourself. How we can achieve this kind of thing? Let's say we have this is the first screen of the app, and we have so many screens after that, and we are having so many edit text, same edit text everywhere. And let's say if we want to change the background color of the edit text, so we have to change each and every time, each and everywhere. So for that, I'll introduce one thing called style. Style is what? It's like a CSS in HTML and CSS, where we are defining one thing at a one particular time, and we can use it is as many times as we want. So let's quickly use a style. Style name will be, let's say, edit style. Okay, and inside that we will have an items. What items? So what items we want? Let's say background color, margin, padding left, and input type. So background color, Android background color. What is the background color? Red color, white, and margin and padding. Margin. What is the margin? Let's say 20 dp. Okay, and item will be padding. Let's say left. Okay, padding left will be 10 dp. And let's say input type, I leave the input type because input type can be anything afterwards. Let's say some names are there or another things are there. Input type can be text as well. So I have those tag edit style. So I will do what? I will remove this style from here. Okay, and I will remove from here. So afterwards, I want to apply the style. So at the rate style, I have an attribute named style, and inside that at the rate style, the name of the style is what? Edit style, our own edit style. See, and same way I can use here. Now let me show you one thing. I have two same style going on to two edit text. Let's say I change the white color to something else. Let's say I change to the button color. Okay, now go to this. See, both styles are changed. Okay, just for an example. So let me put it back. White color, white color, so white color. Okay, so at one place you have all the handling points that you can handle that. Like, let's say my margin is not 20, now it's 30. Okay, so my margin will be 30. Okay. So same kind of you can have the styles to everywhere. Let's say this button, we can have the button style, same button style to everywhere. So we can extract this button style and we can have the whole button everywhere, wherever we want. Same as the text, same as the background colors and all that. And the, for colors as well, let's say this color. So at this point, I can change the color. Let's say I'm changing the color to uh, pink color, and then my button will be pink color. I can change the whole theme in one click. Okay, so let's say a background color, I'm changing the background color. Okay, so there was the pinkish color and then a particular, let's say, this color. Okay, so the whole background color is changed. Right, such way we can create the colors, styles. So hope I in 1 hour I have covered the basic designing of the strings, basic the coding part, how to handle the strings and all that, how to do the colors, how to do the styles. Okay, there are so many things afterwards as well, so many layouts as well, so many components are there. Okay, so many things are there. Okay, so let's say it's components are buttons, image views, scroll views. Okay, widgets are there, calendar view, progress bars, seek bars, and all these things. Yeah, rating bars. Okay, so all the components have all the kind of objects. So basically what is happening here in Android Studio is in XML you have the components in XML form, and in Java you have the components in object form. And in an object form you can do what, you can have like an object, let's say edit height dot, you can have all the attributes, all the functionalities. Okay, here is the final app that we have created. We run this so we can have the final thing. Okay, so the new another the updated version of the app is successfully installed. Okay, and it's okay. We can have we can change this color as well, we can change everything. That color is what, the color primary, color dark, color accent, we can change this color as well. Okay, so we can have such kind of dark color and primary color like this. Okay, and we can have the all the colors same. Okay, or we can remove the status bar and um, these toolbars and all these things and have the full screen app going on. Okay, okay, so here was the small app from the scratch of BMI calculator. Hope you like this session. All right, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tausif sir.
Okay,
This is a very wonderful session.
okay,
Tausif sir is
yes,
the owner of Kutek Private Limited. He has more than 10 years of experience in IT field. His experience in Android programming, Java, cloud computing, Unity, virtual reality, augmented reality. So, on behalf of Paro University, I thank you for your time and giving us this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
hello, okay. Can I close now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.